So the last thing I said in my analysis for Game 6 is the NBA loves a Game 7, and oddly enough, the NBA usually gets what it wants. Well, we got a Game 7, and we're going to talk about it. Oklahoma City will be a 3.5-point favorite, and that total sits at 213. And a lot of you are going to look at that total and think it's easy money, bet on the over. Well, I may or may not disagree. Let's get into it. The Spurs win Game 6 by a score of 118-91. San Antonio shot 47% from the field and 37% from beyond the arc, and they had an edge 25-12 in free throw attempts. And I know when I start talking about free throws, some of you guys get upset in the comments, but you want me to analyze the game, you want to do a proper analysis of the game, it has to include the officiating. Turn on your television, check out your Twitter feed. Everybody's talking about it, and they're talking about it for a good reason because it's affecting the outcome of the games. Somebody had the nerve to comment about this. This guy says, I think you should lead off the show by saying you, I think he means that you, have the Spurs to win the series because the narrative you're pushing is a little overblown. They are playing the MVP more aggressively than any other player, so the stats are inflated and don't mean nothing. Well, I got to disagree with that because the Tom Haberstroh charts show just how much of an advantage it is for SGA flopping. And we're not talking about initiating contact and drawing fouls by slapping your arms. We're talking about flat out jumping and falling to the ground in a performative manner when nobody's pushed you to the ground. That's what those charts are all about. And really, as per the charts, SGA is really the only player that's falling on the ground so frequently. Other players are embellishing, waving their arms, kicking their head back, but not actually falling on the ground. Anyways, we saw the free throw attempts went the way of San Antonio in Game 6. And after seeing 70 free throw attempts in Game 5, just 37 in Game 6, that's almost 50%. That's the difference in these games. If we get 50 or fewer free throws combined, that's a massive advantage for San Antonio. If we get 60 plus, that's a massive advantage for Oklahoma City. And I know some of you guys aren't going to understand that. Some of you guys think, well, if it's 33-33 in free throw attempts, nobody's got an advantage. Well, the style of play for Oklahoma City, it favors them the more total free throw attempts there are. And it was actually nice to see San Antonio started playing their game a little bit. I saw the Spurs roughing up Oklahoma City players, tossing them around. And, it was a physical game, and the refs were keeping the whistle in their pocket, and I like to see that, actually. Wembanyama had 28 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 21 from the field, 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. You got a 7.5-footer out there shooting threes. There's no defense for that. The Spurs had an edge in rebounding, 52-42. De'Aaron Fox, just 5 points, 1 of 9 from the field, played 26 minutes. Little bit of concern for the health of that ankle of De'Aaron Fox, but the good news is the other guard, Dylan Harper, he played 22 minutes, 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting, and 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. So it looks like Dylan Harper is healthy at the moment. Free throw attempts in the Spurs wins, 48, 50, and 37. So like I said, when you get fewer than 60, you get 50 or fewer free throw attempts, massive advantage for the Spurs. In the losses, Game 2, just 41 combined free throw attempts. Game 2, it was a clear bounce back spot for Oklahoma City. I believe I said that in my video that Oklahoma City would likely win that game. But games 3 and 5, 66 and 70 combined free throw attempts. Obviously a massive advantage for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs were 29-12 on the road this season in the regular season. They're 5-3 on the road in the postseason. So it's not like they're not capable of going on the road and winning a Game 7 at Oklahoma City. That's going to be tough, though. We'll talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Before we do, let's have a look at a few comments and a little bit of a promotion. So, man, did I get a lot of hate on my last video. I tell you, I got probably 150 comments. Maybe half a dozen of them were positive. Let's have a look at some of these guys. This guy says statistics only matter if it fits your narrative. So he's accusing me of being biased, the guy with the Oklahoma City logo in his profile picture. I would encourage you guys to go look at my analysis of Game 6, analyze it, and tell me where I went wrong. This guy says this man is riding with the Spurs till he go broke. Bets coming from a biased side with his Spurs futures tickets instead of capping the games without bias. Yeah, well, like I said, you go back and you look at my analysis for both Game 4 and Game 5. Actually, I mean, I said I didn't take the Spurs in Game 5. I took Darren Fox over PRA and I missed it, but my analysis hasn't been off in my opinion. But anyways, moving on to promotions, we got a World Cup coming up, $149 all access. This is available for any of the great handicappers at Wager Talk or Picks and Parlays. I was number one in the last World Cup. I hit 71% with all my picks. If you want to support me, you can go grab that in time for the World Cup. So Oklahoma City just got shellacked, but we've seen them get shellacked in Game 4, then go home in Game 5 and do some shellacking of their own. But I did say after shooting 44% from three-point range in Game 5, they were due to suffer some regression to the mean, which they did. 25%, 10 of 40 from beyond the arc in Game 6. Oklahoma City shot just 37% from the field in Game 6. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 15 points, 6 of 18 shooting, 0 of 5 from three-point range, and only 3 free throw attempts. And man, if you listen to him being interviewed after the game, if you're an Oklahoma City fan, you got to be concerned. I'm going to give you a word-for-word quote in his interview. A lot of the shots that I'm shooting, I shot plenty of times before, and they feel good. They're just not going in. It's too late to abandon my work and abandon my game and who I am this late in the season. I got to trust in it. I got to live and die by it. Yeah, I mean, does that sound confident to you? I mean, nobody asked him to change his game or change who he was. I mean, maybe that unless he's referring to the flopping, but those are some pretty negative comments in my opinion. And I think Shai is right. Well, I mean, you just look at his shooting throughout the series. He's shooting 37.9% from the field, 26.1% from beyond the arc. Those are not MVP numbers. Anytime he's put up numbers, and even in the even in the OKC wins, his numbers are coming from the free throw line. They're not coming from the field goals or three-point shots. I mean, his three-point shooting's just been brutal, and he's not a confident player right now. He's not confident in attacking the basket and in his shot, and that's a recipe for disaster heading into Game 7. The negative coverage in the media, I know these guys are professionals. It's not supposed to bother them, but some of them have egos and some of them have fragile egos. And maybe Shai will show out in Game 7 or maybe he won't, but it's got to be tough when you put on the TV or you open up your phone and you see everybody's poking fun at you for being a flopper. I mean, it's not great for the confidence, let's say. But at the end of the day, none of this is going to matter. None of the things I mentioned, all this analysis, it's probably all going to come down to who is the referee for Game 7 and how does the game get called. Because like I said, 60-plus free throw attempts, OKC, and 50 or fewer, probably San Antonio. I'm not going to give out the side. Everybody knows I got Spurs futures. I think I got about 10 units, maybe a dozen units riding on Spurs tickets. I'll mention the total sits at 213, and a lot of people think, oh, that's way lower than any of the other totals in this series, and that's overcompensating. I completely disagree. At the end of the day, in the conference finals and finals, I think you'll find that Game 7s go under at a rate of about 85% historically. And even though that 4 straight Game 7s in these playoffs have gone over the number, if you look at 9 of the previous 12 Game 7s, so we're not talking about old stats 15 years ago. We're talking about like since 2021, 9 of 12 games went under, and I believe 9 of those games were 200 points or fewer. So it's not like it's not like this is a real big number, 213. And as evidence of that, last year in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, 103-91 for Oklahoma City. There were 60 combined free throw attempts in that game. Oklahoma City shot 40% from the field, 28% from beyond the arc, and they didn't get to 200 in Game 7. Yeah, I think if it's Tony Brothers, all bets are off. Bet the over, bet Oklahoma City. But if it's not Tony Brothers, if we're looking at Zarba or Foster, I'd say under the 213. And yeah, I'm going to ride my Spurs tickets and hope for the best. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, hit me up in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.